there, everybody, on the second week of March in the year 2023. Hi there, Jill Felville. How are you, dear?
I'm well. How are you?
Oh, very good. I got quite interested in Real Estate University. Would you tell me when it was founded?
It was founded in 2005.
And was that in the city of Norwalk, Connecticut?
Yes, Norwalk.
In the city of Norwalk, Connecticut. Are you the founder, dear?
I am not the founder. The founder is Karina Piedmont. And I believe there was offices in Wilton and Norwalk at the time, but mainly Norwalk.
And what was the goal when it was founded, dear? Real Estate University.
Educating real estate salespeople and brokers. I think everybody has had a difficult transaction in their history, and so the goal was to create a space where people could come and learn and turn out fantastic real estate salespeople and brokers.
What a good idea that was. And
I think she had a good idea, yes.
what were some of your great strides and accomplishments since 2005?
I think growing from, just a few people in a small shop.
Yes.
To, moving into Merit 7 buildings in Norwalk, just watching the growth and watching the number of people who, we don't advertise. It's all word of mouth. And so we have this great real estate school. We get calls every day from people who have been referred, from people who love the program. So I think...
Really, it's all word of mouth?
All word of mouth.
And right now, what about is your enrollment?
The number of people?
Yes.
We have about 50 people in the morning class and similar in the evening class.
Isn't that terrific? I love the title they gave it, Real Estate University, don't you?
Sounds pretty big, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Now, how did you get interested in it, Jill Felville?
So I had a friend who had taken the class, and I said, can you tell me the name of that school where you took the real estate class? And he said, Real Estate University. I said, no, seriously. Where you took your class in Connecticut. And he said, Real Estate University. I said, there's no way. The name Real Estate University is in Connecticut. This tiny state, right? And certainly I get the phone number, and
keep going,
Real
honey.
Estate University is in Connecticut, and it's a fantastic school. It's a little state with a big name. And I loved it so much that I started working at the school.
Oh, really? You started working at it?
Yeah, I started out just as a student, and then I started working for Karina, and then the pandemic happened. So I took us into the online world, the virtual live stream classes.
Oh, really? And did the pandemic put a dent into it?
Actually, at first we were very nervous because one of the best things about the real estate class was the personal relationships that you make while you're sitting there in the classroom learning, and we were very nervous about taking it to virtual live stream through originally GoToMeeting, and we would top out at 25 people in the classroom, and suddenly we had 100 people.
Oh, really?
Moved to Zoom. Yeah, we had to move to Zoom, so everybody was home and everybody was by themselves, right? So
Yeah.
It was a great place for everyone to get together. I think we were the first school. The rest of the world was on fire, right? People were very nervous, and we said, let's not skip a beat. We are essential. Real estate is essential, and these people need to finish their class. And more people kept registering, and it was a nice place for people to meet every morning or evening when they weren't allowed to go anywhere, couldn't go into any stores really, right? So it was a wonderful place for people to connect every day and feel some sense of normalcy.
So Jill, I think that's terrific that you overcame it and blossomed. Now, are you right in downtown Norwalk, Connecticut?
Yes, right near the Department of Motor Vehicles, right on Main Avenue.
Really, huh? Oh, that's a very good location.
A great location.
Very good location. Now, Jill, have you seen some very enormous changes in real estate since you've been in it?
Absolutely. So the market had really slowed in Connecticut for almost 20 years until the pandemic, and suddenly people were moving outside of New York City and other areas and coming to Connecticut.
And is that
taxes were a little bit lower, and so yeah, they were just excited. And suddenly, people went from needing to be close to everything to needing more space, to quarantine, whatever the reason was, but they needed space all of a sudden. So the market turned, and it was like, unbelievable. And so we had everybody wanted to be a real estate salesperson so they could get on the action.
and this migration has it continued up to this very day?
It has continued. There's, obviously some people go to Westchester County and Putnam County, but a lot of people still coming to Connecticut. The taxes are a little bit lower, so it makes it attractive for people. The schools are good, and, you get a lot of the same amenities as you would if you were in Westchester. You're so close to the city, so it's been great for people, and it has continued. It's been almost 3 years now. People are still moving into Connecticut.
Jill, what territory do you cover? Stamford, Greenwich? Do you go as far up as New Canaan?
Absolutely. Norwalk, New Canaan. I would go to Danbury. I'd go to West Hartford if I had to. If I had a client who needed me up there, I would. But, a lot of people like to specialize in 1 to 2 towns, but I like to really specialize in people and where they want to be.
And would you go as far as Fairfield and Westport?
Absolutely. Have done work in both towns.
Yes. Do you know anybody like you in any other state?
I don't know anybody like this school in any other state. A lot of other schools, we get, because our name is so big, we do get calls from all over the country, people thinking that we are a national organization. And so I'll get calls from Texas, California, Florida, Massachusetts, and New York. And no, there's no one who answers the phone at 9 o'clock at night or, 4 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon, 10 o'clock on a Sunday morning. I always answer the phone because people always, if they're calling, they want to talk to someone, right? So I think that's what sets us apart as well. We answer the emails at all hours, and we answer the phone all the time. If it rings and I hear it, I'm picking it up.
Now, listen, honey, while we are here, very, very slowly, will you give your email?
It's info, INFO.
One moment. I as in Irving, N as in Norman.
S as in Foxtrot, O as in Oscar. Info at realestateuniversity.com.
Real Estate University, 2 words. At where, dear?
realestateuniversity.com.
Okay. Now, very, very slowly, your telephone number.
203-820-0110.
And what is your title, Jill?
I'm the director of Real Estate University.
Oh, you're the director.
A director, yes.
Yeah. Are you the head honcho, honey?
No, the owner is the head honcho.
Oh, okay. All right. Now, what plans do you folks... Did you ever consider franchising?
We have considered it. Looked into states like Virginia and Massachusetts and Rhode Island. But Connecticut has kept us so busy. We do have a partnership with $1 Million Listing in New York. So we refer people to them, and they refer people to us. Ryan Serhant, he Sell It Like Serhant program. It's been a really nice partnership for the last 3 years as well.
And tell us, Jill Falvo, what you like best about doing it.
Real estate is exciting. It is essential. A lot of people call and say, I've been interested in real estate my whole life, and, me too. I love it. I love being part of the education side. I'm a lifetime student. I have taken so many classes. I've gone back to school so many times. I love education. So it's really great to be a part of this. It's something that people can take with them. We have someone who does continuing education who's 100 years old. This is a career you can stop or continue the whole time. It's really great. You meet great people. You've got to be a people person to do this because you're always around people. So, yeah, I love it. I love all the parts of it.
Yeah, you certainly come across as you do now. Listen, what do you think is the future for all this? You think the future's good?
I do think the future is good. People worry about some of the other websites or apps taking over over, but it's really hard to take that personal piece out of it, someone to help you, guide you through the process. And we don't do all the things that real estate salespeople and brokers used to do in the same way, right? So much of it is self-service now, but you need someone to guide you through, to help you, negotiate, things like that. It's important to have someone by your side. And so that's what we're doing. And you're seeing a lot of real estate brokers sort of turn a little bit, and maybe they're donating in their community. They have to make themselves a little bit more special. You look at markets like in Nashville, Austin, they can do different unique things because they're markets like this all the time, what we're experiencing in Connecticut and New York. So it's been really exciting to watch the changes within the communities. And for the future, I think it will be nice to have somewhat of an online presence. Connecticut does not allow all online, meaning our classes are live with an instructor is on a Zoom call or in person. It's not on demand. You're not taking this class at 2 a.m. by yourself. You've always got someone there. You've always got your instructors. You've always got people in the office to contact. But what we are going to do is put more content available online. An exam prep class, things of that nature, things that we're allowed to put in there, we will. But everything else is still very personable, which is nice. Because when I get a frustrated person calling from New York or Massachusetts or Florida, and they get a live person, it makes all the difference in the world. And so that's why we're going to continue doing it this way. But we will add content to enrich the program wherever we can on our website. And we're, I think, one of the only schools to have a bilingual program. We are really, really trying to recruit our bilingual students because we need them, and we need them to come back and be educators and instructors at our school. So we're very excited to have a bilingual program.
Well, Jill, I can see your enthusiasm. Now, what did you say that the state of Connecticut does not allow?
They don't allow on-demand learning. So essentially, other states will allow to the point where you're going through the program on your own. You're completing the hours. On demand, you could be doing these classes at 2 o'clock in the morning if you want. But Connecticut makes it you have to show up to a class. And I think that's actually really helpful. It helps me to learn better, and it helps people. There are some people who really want that individual, I want to do this on my time. Connecticut does not allow that yet. And so what we've tried to do with the virtual classes is sort of make it the best of both worlds. We've given you a couple of options for class times, but you still have an instructor there, and you still have a resource behind you.
Oh, yeah. Jill, what is their reason for precluding?
I don't know. I don't think they've disclosed that. But I guess it's great because I will tell you, I've had people tell me, I took the class, in New York or wherever, Massachusetts, that sort of thing, but I passed the test. Now, listen, passing that test is not a measure of how you'll be as a real estate salesperson or broker. But you want to walk in there with some knowledge, right? You want to know a little bit about what you're doing. You're going to have on-the-job training for sure, but you want to be a little bit prepared. And I think this class, we also tell our students, you're going to see these people. You're going to be referring, clients to these people. Get to know your cohorts. It's really important. It's a very personable career, and it's nice to get started right from the beginning in a personal manner with people in your class you're talking to every day.
Okay. Now, Jill, Connecticut is such an ancient and such a very well thought of, highly esteemed a state for real estate. How does your work differ from somebody, we'll say, out in Wyoming?
A great question. I think that what Connecticut has is diversity in, land. We have Norwalk, but itself is very diverse. It has water, it has the city, it has green, so you have these, people that really, really specialize in their area, and they take pride in their town or their county. And I think that we've had a lot of reports of people buying land in Wyoming or Montana, sight unseen. And, we have heard in Connecticut, we have so much of it is very, very personal, and I think that's a big part of it. Again, it's just it's a very established, like you said, still running on a very old school way of thought and very, very community oriented. I think that is present in real estate transactions as well.
Now, you can't go over the border, Joanne, I mean, Jill, you can't go over the border. For instance, you can't go into
It's
Springfield,
I
Mass.
can
You couldn't go into Springfield, Mass.
in New York, because if you have someone coming out of New York City or coming from Boston or coming from across the country, what's the difference whether or not they live in Salem or in New Canaan, right? A little bit in the taxes, but I think it's a really good idea in New York and Connecticut to be cross licensed, because you know, then you have the best of both worlds, right? You're working in both areas. You don't have to hand off a client who you enjoy working with because you don't have a license right over the border.
I find the whole thing fascinating. Without revealing or without transgressing any law or without going commercial here in public access, no money now, folks, in public access. No money goes across. Can I ask you, what would be one of the lowest transactions and what would be one of the highest that you've seen in dollars?
Lowest in dollar, I'm allowed to use dollars?
Yes, use dollars.
I would say the lowest being $249, $250 on a set, and then highest being 3.4 on a house.
Really? That would be on a house?
Just personally, yes.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And what on a bare piece of land that people might build on? What would be those prices?
You can get that for in the 200s. You can certainly, if you go further up the 100s, you can still find a really good piece of land in the 200s.
Yeah. Well, and you travel all over the state, right?
I would. I haven't had to go further than New Haven or so, but I would. I wanted to go there. Now, you may want to partner with someone who is, specializes in that area.
Oh, okay.
There's some things, you may want to, but I'm adventurous. I would go. If I'm not the best person for my client, then I'll find them that person. If they need someone who really specializes in the area, then you want to find that person.
Now, last, Jill, speak to the young people about this being a career.
It's a great career. The earlier you get in, the better you're going to do. The more experience you have, the bigger your network is. Again, you can do this into your retirement. And if you want to flip houses, I mean, we see young people all the time. They want to flip houses. They want to make money, right? And this is where it's at. Real estate is essential, and people are always going to need somewhere to live.
Yes,
so
right.
It's a great place to be. Even if you do it part-time and you're just a referral agent.
Yes.
To get the best of, your education, you do your continuing ed, and you learn, and then you maybe jump into it full-time again. It's a great career. You have autonomy, and I think the younger generation really likes a little bit of the, teleworking away from a desk. You're not tied to a desk. It's wonderful in that sense. You're making your own schedule. Of course, there's some limitations in there when people want to see a house and you've got to get paperwork in at a certain time. But hey, bring your laptop with you anywhere. You can work from anywhere. And it's a great, great, great thing for young people, parents, right?
Sure.
To your children's games.
Sure.
You're making your own schedule.
Amy, well, how much time did we have, dear?
We're at 18 minutes and 37 seconds.
Oh, we're doing well. Jill, what snares and entanglements would you warn the young people about?
I would say make sure you take your continuing ed. And then think about things. We've got a lot of different laws passing and changing all this now, right?
Yes.
People who, if you're ever showing a client, especially the young people, you're showing someone a townhouse or an attached community like a condo. Make sure as a young person, those are desirable places to live, and make sure you look at the bylaws. Make sure you think about this is an airspace that you're sharing ventilation system. Someone might be using this for a while, and there's nothing you can do about that. Something to think about when you're showing clients around, and as a young person potentially looking at these spaces. Make sure you get to know your client. Ask a lot of questions. You do not want to get entangled in anything where you're steering, right? You want to be asking your client questions, finding the best place for them, not for you, what works for them. And so that's my biggest.
That's very nice. That's a very nice way you're looking out for your client instead of yourself. That's very appealing.
Thank you. I mean, that's what we're here to do. And I feel like if you're doing the best for the client, the money is going to come, right? The commission will be there.
Yes.
Focus on giving your client the best you can give. And if it's not you, if there's something you can't answer, redirect them. Help them find their answers. Don't give them the wrong answers or don't guess on anything. Find the answers. Help them find the resources for anything they need that you can't find.
Jill, you really know what you're talking about. This has been a pleasure.
Oh, thank you. It has been a pleasure.
Now, this is a chat with everybody, chat with Glendora, and it is on television on 72 TV stations across the United States, Jill. All the big ones like Manhattan, Brooklyn, Bronx, Queens, Chicago, Philadelphia, Atlanta, Portland, Oregon, San Francisco, San Diego, San Antonio, San Jose. And we're going to get your story across. Plus, before the end of the day, it's going to be on YouTube, Jill.
Great. Thank you. We're
Yeah,
excited.
and we also share it with Facebook and Twitter. And Amy, I don't think we should go dry and leave the people without some jokes. Do you?
No.
What's a joke we had about Harry was talking to God, and Harry said, God, how much is $1 million to you? And God said, $10. And Harry says, well, God, how long is 1,000,000 years to you? And God said, 1 second. And Harry says, God, can I have $10? And God said, certainly, just a second. And then what was the one about the ropes, Amy? 3 ropes were walking down.
Well, all the ropes went into a restaurant, and then the third rope, the restaurant owner asked him if he was a rope, and he said, I'm afraid not.
Let me just go over that one a little more slowly. The rope got very angry when the maitre d' said, we don't serve ropes in this restaurant. You will have to leave. And so he got very angry, and he tied himself into a knot, and he tousled both of his ends, and he goes back in and he starts to order, and the maitre d' says, aren't you a rope? And he says, I'm afraid not. Let's see. Oh, Jill, did you know that computers are in the Bible?
I did not.
Eve said to Adam, do you want an apple too? No, I think there were a couple more we had in mind.
One was about cataracts.
Oh, yes, the eye doctor said to the Japanese man, you have a cataract. And the Japanese man says, no, I have a Rinkin. And then the last
And then
one.
what about the one at the beauty salon?
Say that again, honey.
You had a good one about a beauty salon.
She wants to know the one about the beauty salon, how the gossip in a beauty
Oh,
salon.
you want me to tell him that?
Yeah.
Oh, isn't this cute? We have a joke on demand. That's good, isn't it? Yes. Do you want to tell it, Jill, or do you want me to tell it?
No, you tell. You tell.
Okay. Folks, did you know that the gossip alone that you hear in a beauty salon is enough to curl your hair? And then I think the last one was the little tailor. He was having trouble in his business, and he wasn't prosperous. And his rabbi said, well, you will have to take God as your partner. And later on, the rabbi saw him, and he said, how is your business? Did you take God as your partner? And the little tailor says, oh, yes, he says, things really picked up. We are doing brilliantly now. We have stores all over the place. We have trucks all over the place. Look, there goes one of our trucks right now, Lord and Taylor. Well, this is good. What time are we now, Amy?
We're at 24 minutes and 34 seconds.
Well, listen, Jill, just wind it up for me. Give me another 3 minutes. Is there any age limit? You said you had somebody who was 100 years old?
Yes, we have someone who's 100 years old who does the continuing education, but you can be as young, you can actually be under 18 to take the class. You just have to be 18 years old or older to pass or take the state exam through PSI.
Yes, right.
It's something that I think people can use if they never get licensed. This is a great class to learn from. I wish I took this class before I bought or sold any properties. Even before you rent something, there are so many people who are a victim of fair housing violations and they have no idea. And so you get to this class and you realize, wow, this should not have happened to me. This should not have happened, or I shouldn't have never had to deal with that. So it's a great class, even
Sure.
if you don't decide to become an agent.
Sure, sure. So that's about it. It's good to pay attention in high school to your work, right? And get good grades in high school.
It is important, absolutely. You don't need a college degree to be a real estate salesperson. You do to be an appraiser. That's a little bit more strict with the number of hours and things of that nature, but you don't have to have any degree to be a salesperson. You can become a broker. I kind of refer to them as an undergrad and graduate program. We have a lot of people who become brokers and remain as basically a licensed salesperson under their broker to do it for tax purposes.
Yeah, that's
We
good.
have people who do it because they want to start their own business and a new brokerage. So there's a lot of opportunity, and there's a great community, a lot of great brokerages, and like I said, a lot of new things happening as the world changes, and looking to give people more out of their investment than they may be typically accustomed to in a real estate transaction. So you can find a great brokerage out there, whether you're looking to work with them or sell it.
You were such a good spokesman. Amy, is there anything you wanted to ask our friend Jill Bilbo?
No.
Okay. Hey, Google, who is Glendora Folsom?
According to Wikipedia, Glendora Folsom is a cable TV producer from New York. Her birth name was Glendora Vesta Folsom.
Hey, Google, who is Glendora Buell?
On the website imdb.com, they say Glendora is the world's longest running television personality, both broadcast TV and cable TV, and still going, 1953 to 2018. You have heard of the television show 60 Minutes. Glendora has a television show called 30 Seconds. People also ask me, is Glendora still alive? Want to hear the answer?
Yes.
According to wikipedia.org, she currently lives in Nassau, NY, where she continues to produce episodes of A Chat with Glendora.
And we never did a better one than today, did we, Amy?
No.
All right, Jill, you're going to have the last word. Go ahead.
Real Estate University. Come talk to us. Give us a call, 203-820-0110, whether you want a real estate salesperson or not. Get into real estate. It's a great way to grow generational wealth. It's really one of the only ways to grow generational wealth. So get out there and find a property.
Thank you so much, honey. You did an excellent job. You get an A. How's that?
Thank you. I'll take it.
Grace and peace, everybody. God be with you all. Amen.
Thanks, Glendora. Thanks, Amy.
You're welcome.